Now, I don't know about the PC version, but what's very evident is with this PS4 port is contrast was rushed. The story and lore of Contrast are fantastic. It's one of those games that touches upon it kind of looks like a children's game, but it's one of those that actually touches upon very adult situations and like scientific advancements, just like sort of like Ni no Kuni, with parent problems and more dimensions or universes, parallel universes, that type of thing. The voice acting is more or less okay. It didn't really take me out of the immersion process, nor did it really impress me at any given time. And the environment is suited to the soundtrack, as the soundtrack is kind of... It just fits. I really don't have a word before it, besides that the soundtrack really does fit the environment in Contrast. The environment is just... It's kind of like macabre in a way. It's so open to your interpretation and the whole parallel universes. Like, you can go in certain parts of the game and you just find like nothing, just like a void of, I guess, space and floated chunks of earth, and it really does have that feel of, wait, where am I? Is this a sci-fi game? Is this a platformer? And it's just... that really did take me. The whole story, lore, environment, and the soundtrack really did take me and kept me playing this game. The gameplay is pretty unique. You use shadows and assortments with those shadows to, get through the game, to platform, to solve puzzles, and it was entertaining. And my subs should know I don't really like puzzle games, but this really didn't feel like a puzzle game to me. Most of them were straightforward, and the only one that really had a problem was there was one time and you really had to think outside the box on that one, literally. But besides that, there was no problem with puzzles being too hard or too easy. It just felt perfect with the fluidity of the game. However, the gameplay is hampered and ruined by faulty mechanics and just problems all around. An example would be the controls not listening to you, or they're too sensitive, so you jump way further than you should have, or shorter than you should have. And this goes into the technical issues, which were huge in this game. I noticed this mostly through the second half of the game, but they are prevalent nonetheless. You can get stuck on things, you can get glitched into things, you can kind of get weirded out by the platform, and the character just does one of those like models that you see in pre-development art when they're detailing the character, one of those, and that was not very pretty. And because the nature of the gameplay, where it's shadows on the wall and corners and etc., a lot of times you'll find yourself frustrated because jumping doesn't mix in with a shadow that's in a corner for some reason, and you'll just go haywire and at the same time do this model thing, and there's really no replayability. Once you play through once, it's pretty much over unless you want to go back for collectibles if you did not get them all. But I really couldn't be bothered to go get them. I feel like it wasn't worth my time. And the game took me about 4 hours to beat. So for a downloadable title on PlayStation Network and PlayStation Plus, that's pretty acceptable. So I would say if you're lacking on games and looking for games on your PlayStation 4, and especially if you're a PS Plus member, I'd say, buy it or get Contrast. However, if you do not like, puzzle platformers and you hate that, clearly seeable rushed game mechanics in a port form, because this was originally a PC game, I'd say avoid it because you probably will get frustrated.